Salam sejahtera and good morning. I'm Christine Leong from the Malaysian Association of Canada. As Merdeka Day approaches, we are thinking of our tanah air and the dire situation that has befallen our birthplace. With me behind the screen is Winshi, also from MAC. On screen, we have Rosalyn Das, the leader of Jaga, Malaysia, and William Cheah, as well as Yilin Chen from Kembara Kitchen, coming to us live from Penang today. Jaga, Malaysia is a fundraiser created to crowdfund to help Malaysians impacted by the pandemic. Kombara Kitchen is one of the organizations that we have partnered with to channel our donations from the fundraiser. With the support of Malaysian Association of Canada, we have set a goal of $10,000 to raise funds to purchase groceries and essential supplies for families who have passed the threshold of extreme hardship with no ability to feed their children or themselves. Every cent collected from this donation will go towards families and individuals who need the most support. We are very honored today to host the founders of Kembara Kitchen, William and Yilin, in a panel discussion to talk about the situation in Malaysia. To our viewers, you are welcome to join in the conversation by dropping your comments in down below. We shall begin with a statement of land acknowledgement in honor of the traditional and ancestral lands of the indigenous people. The Malaysian Association of Canada, MAC, acknowledges this land on which we work, Turtle Island, is the territory of diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We are grateful to have the opportunity to live, work, and play on this land. We respectfully acknowledge that MAC office sits on the traditional territory of the Wendat, Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, Métis, and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. Acknowledging the cultural mosaic of Canada, we recognize the many other peoples who have contributed to this place we now call home. We want to acknowledge the many traditions and cultural backgrounds that are represented. You, your families, and your ancestors all have roles to play in making this space an inclusive and welcoming one. And for that, all of us at MAC say thank you. Welcome, everyone. Apa khabar? How are you today?
Doing great. It's been a cold, rainy day today, which is blessing. In Malaysia, you know how hot it is, right?
Yeah.
William,
Okay.
are you in Penang at the moment? I think Christine said you're in Penang. My
Yes.
first interview question to you will be, how is the char kway teow?
Well, I haven't had a chance to eat char kway teow today. I had sao fan and a lot of nasi kanda.
Oh,
Yesterday was atui soup and atui kway chap. All this kind of
you
stuff.
have no idea what this sounds like to Malaysians living in Canada. You have no idea.
I can actually imagine that.
Yeah, especially Rosalyn, because Rosalyn is a hardcore Penangite. So Rosalyn, I'm going to start with you. Can you share how this fundraiser came about? Like, what compelled you to start this GoFundMe?
So I know about the white flag movement because a lot of my friends on social media are still, like, friends and family are from Malaysia. So I came across a website, kitajaga.co, where it connects you directly to families who are raising the white flag. So just a little bit of a story. The white flag movement is asking families and individuals to put a white flag out on their roof or outside their house if they need help of any sort. I don't think the help is specified, but it's understood that a lot of people are financially doing very, very badly. So they have not enough money to buy food, groceries, or even like basic stuff for their kids or for their babies to a certain extent. So So suicide cases has gone up. That was what I heard. So that was why this movement came about, to encourage people to, instead of giving up life, to put out a white flag to signal that they need help. So I went on a website, trying to help a couple of families, and I did. But that's because I have a Malaysian bank account. So it's easier for me to purchase stuff from Tesco, and also because I know how it works, and the areas in Malaysia that especially needed help. So like I know the whole system, but buying groceries from Tesco and navigating about that is not the easiest. It's not the most user friendly, and I do know a lot of Malaysians who are abroad would like to help, but they can only help like with a credit card, because a lot of them don't have a Malaysian bank account, or they don't really know how to go about it. So I thought about this idea, and with the support of Christine, Shar, and a few others who put this GoFundMe together. I thought it's a good way for Malaysians in Canada and overseas, in case if they want to help, it's just a credit card that they can use. So this was the whole idea behind setting up this GoFundMe.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. I think it's a great initiative. And like you said, a lot of us who do not have a Malaysian bank account, we read the news, and we see all these stories that pop up in social media. We want to help, but we just didn't know how. So thank you so much for setting this up. So over to you, William. So you're one of the organizations that we've partnered with. Can you tell us a bit about Kembara Kitchen? Some of our viewers may not know what it is.
Well, Kembara Kitchen is essentially a social enterprise, right? On the surface, we are a catering company, but what we do is whatever profits that we make from our catering business, and we do actually have quite a good corporate base, British Council, a lot of corporates who are actually our client base and things like that. So the profits that we make from that goes into our community projects, which ranges from, well, we started off as a disaster relief organization. Back in 2015, there was a very bad flood in in East Coast, Kelantan especially. So we went there, and at that time, Kembara Kitchen was not officially founded yet. And we realized that in order for us to set up a kitchen, a field kitchen, to do cooking for the food and things like that, it needed to be a little bit more professional and more, how do you say, funded in a more stable manner. Rather than keep asking people for donations whatsoever, we needed an income channel so that we could always respond as needed, right? And then things needed to be bought, the equipment for field kitchen and things like that, big walks, they are not cheap, so that's how Kombara Kitchen was founded back in 2015. And we've expanded since then to a wide range of other services. We have what we call the community center. It's essentially a shop lot that we've converted into like a hub to store things. And it's also a place where those who are in need come and collect the products needed, groceries. And it's also a place where companies, I heard Tesco just now. Tesco is actually one of our partners who actually helped us. Well, that was before they became Lotus, I think right now in Malaysia, right? So, but we still work together. Unilever, Mami, and that, when they want to do some charity work, CSR, it's difficult for them to give out, let's say, 20,000 cartons of food stuff, and they have to send their lorries to 50, 60 places. So what they do is they send to us, and we become the distribution point. So the 50, 60 NGOs will come to our place and collect. And we've been licensing, and we've been working in partnership with all these NGOs. So we help in that manner. We become a hub. And due to the pandemic this year and last year also, it has been a tremendous help having that community center. Right? And apart from that, of course, we do other things. Nafas is one of our latest projects, which is not related to food. But in 30 days, today is the 30th day that we actually started the Nafas project. And we have now set up in 3 states. I'm in Penang because of that. right? My Kembara Kitchen is officially HQ in Shah Alam. We have another setup in Johor Bahru now. And in these 30 days, we ferried at least about 300 plus to 400 passengers who needed assistance. It's like an ambulance service in that sense. However, we are not an ambulance, but those people who can't afford or cannot get transport because they're COVID positive and they need medical assistance, they do call us and we give that service for free. It came about a discussion with, I'm not sure whether you know her, Dato Yasmin Yusof, yeah, so when she does ampang caremongering also. So when she shared the problems that the people were having, and we say, okay, no, maybe there's something that Kembara Kitchen could do. So that's how we started. But today's the 30th day, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, Yelin, maybe you can chime in. So you guys literally started really small. Maybe you can share with us the story of your journey, how you and William, thought of this idea and how how it grew. I mean, I've heard of Kembara Kitchen, but I think, we don't know how you guys got started and how successful you've been. It's such a huge name in Malaysia, I think, anyways.
We're not that huge lah. Food, hang on, you gotta mute.
Use it. You mute.
Off your volume. Okay, can you guys hear me?
Oh, you're still.
There's still a little bit of it.
Yeah,
Off your volume.
it's okay.
Problem is we're sitting side by side but using separate laptops.
It's all right.
It's very clear.
Okay, it's good.
Okay, Ken, ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, everything started with a dog actually.
Oh.
Yeah, a puppy that we adopted. And back then I wasn't married to William yet. He was married to someone else lah. Yeah, so this it was because of this puppy. So it was 1 year anniversary with the puppy. Then he decided to give back to the shelter that the puppy was adopted from. And started with people coming towards him to give like one vehicle worth of donations. Then the next round he did became more. Then we decided to form another group called Giving It Forward Today. Yeah, we decided to form that, and that was when it kind of blew out of proportion during the 2014-2015 big flood. We were involved in sorting of groceries at Tesco because they were receiving too many donations, and then assisting with the logistics, kind of took over the logistics and sent them over to TM. And yeah, we kind of grew from there. After that, we moved on to Kuala Krai, and that was when we did our first field kitchen with zero experience in mass cooking. It took us more than 6 hours to cook the pot of rice.
Well, do you still have your puppy today? Is your puppy still with us today?
Being fostered.
Yeah, he's being fostered. Unfortunately, he wasn't very happy living in a confined space. So we have sent him to this place that's kind of in a jungle in a way. Yeah, he's very happy and fed over there right now.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, that's really cute. So it started with the gathering, like donation to help out one shelter, and then it just, went out of proportion from there, and that's how you guys got started. The story that began with a puppy.
So based on our cooking experience in Kuala Krai during the 2014-2015 flood, we kind of decided that we needed a proper setup if we were going to do this. And the reason why we decided to form a catering company is because if we are going to be focusing on providing cooked food, catering throughout the entire year will actually give us the opportunity to have ongoing training for flood relief at the end of the year. And we will have the proper equipment needed. We wouldn't need to purchase equipment just to be on standby for flood relief.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Our first one, we had to borrow some pots and pans from people who had them.
Okay, so William, over to you. Let's talk about this pandemic. What is Kembara doing today to help Malaysians during this pandemic? Perhaps, maybe tell us a story about.
Oh, my mic.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're on the speaker on your side.
Uh,
Yeah, how does your organization my goodness, your organization, how do you guys work to operate to send help all over Malaysia? Right now you set up in Penang, but that's not your permanent home base. So it sounds like you just go all over the country setting up,
Sorry, Christine.
units.
If I can just jump in here to
Mhm.
add to the question, and maybe William, you can just start by telling us what is the current situation in Malaysia? How bad things are? How bad things have been?
that one is actually a hard question to answer. When you look at the figures that we have, and in proportion to the population that we have, the cases are not yet, how do you say, they're not yet secure, right? Things have not died down. Today is still about 20,000 plus cases. The deaths are still relatively high. This has been ongoing for some while now. Just a few days ago, we had 24,000 with 300 over deaths. Just a couple of days ago. Uh, Today, one of my coordinators received a call for help, and it was like the person is looking like he's dying dead beside the road kind of thing. And that's in the neighborhood where I'm staying. When you hear the stories, it may seem pretty bad, but when you also look at the percentages, you will notice that the vaccination is actually working. The number of people who are now infected by the virus is very, very low percentage, like 1% kind of thing, or even less than that, uh, amongst all of them. So with the with the vaccination ongoing, it's good in that sense. Klang Valley itself is actually highly vaccinated, double dose, and they're actually closing down the vaccination centers, right, in Klang Valley, and now I think they are starting to open up in the other states. Penang itself is about less than 50% still. That's the latest report we got today. So that's not the greatest news from here. States like Penang, Kedah, Johor, Kelantan, Sabah, and Sarawak are very badly hit. So it's going to take about a month or two at least to see a better situation. That's what I believe, based on my analysis. When we refer to the doctors that we work with, everyone is telling us, let's say Penang, for example, we are being told that on September, October will be the peak for Penang. So that's coming. That means we have not reached the peak yet. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So that is the medical sense of the situation. For the community, it's very difficult. Many people have been out of work,
Mhm.
right?
For a very long time.
Yeah, for a very long time. People have had to change their lifestyle. People who were very well off or were doing quite well in their lives had a very drastic drop. Okay. We have had engagement with a lot of people, in the sense of sometimes we try to give them jobs, things like that. It's not a fairy tale when we say that people who are high flying financiers, so on and so forth, 2 years, 3 years back, they are now working as Grab drivers,
Mhm.
e-hailers, Grab food. That is not it's not a lie. Yeah, it's a fact. It's a fact. Uh, at certain times of the pandemic, whenever there's an MCO, even Grab drivers have it difficult because nobody's allowed to move. So nobody's asking for that. The immigrants, the refugees, they have it very bad too. They are even worse off than locals, right? So it's just bad all around in that sense, especially for those who have had no savings. There are, of course, people who are doing well. There are some people who manage to still stay afloat. Um, Everybody's hoping things will become better, but there's essentially no guarantee that it will. Even for us, when the doctors tell us that they will need us until, in Penang, they're telling us they need us here until
December.
end of the year, November, December. In Johor Bahru, when I talk to the directors of the quarantine centers, they say please stay as long as you can. When I tell I can commit to 2 more weeks, then they start saying, oh, we're going to miss you so much, we need you so much, things like that, then we know that the situation is actually quite bad in reflection to that. Even Klang Valley, I've actually cut down the number of drivers there because the numbers seems to have dropped. It has dropped from, I think, about nearly 30 to 40% in terms of cases. However, like today, my drivers are working from morning till night. They're still working. I think one of them just arrived home, right? It's 9. They are still working until night.
So these are volunteers, right? So you have several
No.
initiatives.
My drivers, I do not even there. I'm paying them to be on call 24/7 because this is something that has got to do with life and death.
But we are also trying to
Right.
create job opportunities for people through
Yes.
the work that we do. So a lot of these people that we are paying to help us run the programs in Kembara Kitchen right now, they lost income. They are also looking for a way to survive.
Yeah, but it's not easy to find because even Penang, I'm looking for drivers, for example. I can't find. So far until now, I can't find extra drivers from Johor. From Penang. Yeah.
So these are
because-
drivers to help deliver the aids, or is it related to the NAFAS project? And you
Yeah,
can talk
NAFAS
about
project.
NAFAS project. Okay.
NAFAS project is one. The drivers because they are wearing PPE, but I also have an e-hailing team which we pay on a daily basis to help deliver products. Our what we call capex, groceries. Our grocery we move about between 8 to 20 tons a week worth of goods, and we cover the whole Klang Valley for products. So one care pack is essentially about 20 kilos worth of products. Sometimes it can go even more, right? And if we are lucky, we have enough funds, we will give fresh vegetables, chicken, so on and so forth. If not, the minimum we will give it will be a 5 kilo bag rice, salt, sugar, whatever, biscuits. If you have children, we'll give baby formula, we'll give diapers if needed. We are even supporting some hospitals with diapers for newborns because this is something that you all should know. There are cases of babies being born and abandoned in the hospitals.
Wow.
Yeah, because the mothers are so afraid how are they going to continue taking care of the kids. So after birth, they literally just get out of the hospital without letting anyone know. They abandon them there. I mean, I'm not judging them. I know the situation.
Babies.
Yeah, they call them COVID babies, and we are helping to cover right now 2 hospitals. When it started off, we had about 22 babies then covering in one hospital, but now I think I lost track of the figures. Actually, we are working with another NGO who's actually doing the deliveries and everything for us for the hospital, but I'm assuming we're 30-40 babies, and every week we are sending about 2 trips formula milk and also diapers for them. So a certain section of our community center is stocked up with diapers, and this one is thankfully supported by the members of the public. We actually asked them, can you just send the goods to us, don't give me cash, because just imagine if I have to go and buy everything now in this kind of pandemic, it's difficult for us also. So people, even yesterday, I think yesterday they came with a stack of diapers. They'll tell us
yesterday's was adult diapers.
Yeah, then even adult diapers and things like that. So adult diapers will go into hospitals who
also.
need. So there are so many things that are in need. It's not just groceries that you're talking about. When money is short for these people, even our agencies can't cope. I'm not blaming the government for the situation because every government is faced with an unprecedented event, and nobody expected this is going to last. When COVID was really getting serious in March 2020, Yilin and I was sitting there, we're expecting, okay lah, at the most it's going to be a couple of months, and we were just sitting down today and just say, the whole of 2021 is gone, right? We were involved in a flood relief early in January, and we thought that was the closing of it. We were actually going for a company trip, but since that time until now, we've been non-stop, and that's only for 2021. So I cannot imagine the stress and pressure that has been put upon everybody, from civil society to public to government agencies. So all these things need to be, I think very important that everybody chips in to see what we can do. Okay. However, having said that, I think by now we all need to look and see and understand that every single dollar counts. How do we make things stretch? That is the critical aspect. It's not just about how much I can raise. Uh, you know, sadly speaking, when people ask us, like the doctors tell us, I need you guys here until December. I'm just sitting down here and thinking, wow, how how much is that going to cost me? I don't know how much I'm gonna, but I'm gonna have to try to find a way to stretch every dollar that I have, assuming that I'm not gonna get any more support. So, and that's just for Penang, Johor, KL, and our greatest fear. What if there's the Lambda variant that comes in again, and somewhere end of the year? What if a flood occurs, end of the year, under pandemic situations when I still have 20,000 cases? How am I going to support the victims? That's why we thought all this, and then we came up with something which we call the hero meals, which is actually it's like your army rations that you taken by the army. It's a rethought meal, lasts for 2 years without refrigeration, and you've got your favorites like nasi ayam, nasi kari ayam, nasi lemak with sambal telur. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah. But we have got spaghetti bolognese too, all that. And we are targeting, like, okay, I'm going to have 10,000 packs or 20,000 packs of this ready for distribution, so that my team doesn't need to go down and cook during the pandemic, because that may not be able to happen, right? And that's what we've been doing lah. It's been crazy, I mean, there are so many projects in so many places, and as I mentioned before, Kembara Kitchen officially has like 3, 4, 5 staff members now. All right, 2 of them were hired in the kitchen to help out more for the hero meals, but we have essentially 5 staff members running all this together with our volunteers. Thankfully, we have quite a number of volunteers. Of course, if you want to count in our staff for the drivers and whatever, drivers are more than 10. We are talking about 13 to 15 drivers, and we realize that the logistics is another aspect which is very important.
Expensive.
It's expensive, but it's needed. Especially, I think those of you who have gone through a lockdown will understand the situation. You have to remember when everybody else was in a lockdown, stay at home, we were very active. We were going around giving goods all the way from Shah Alam to Kedah, Langkawi. We were delivering things to East Coast. We were delivering things to South. So we have to ask, how do we go about doing that? And at the end of the day, it was a logistics concern above everything else, and that one costs money. And that is very even today, Nafas, without the drivers, without the vehicles, I can't be doing anything. They say chui noa. You use your saliva to talk, you're not going to get anything achieved. So I'm very thankful for the drivers and all that, right? And many things.
I think one of the things that makes Kombara so successful is your ability to mobilize. I would say probably at lightning speed. You've shared with me some stories about like how without the red tapes that you guys just get it done. Like can you share a bit about how you guys operate on a day-to-day basis?
The secret is actually to simplify things. I give a very simple example. Let's take Nafas. Okay. When we started Nafas, it was just for a simple reason: to pick people up who were sick with COVID but could not get to the hospitals for treatment. Right? Initially, when you sit down and think about it, you will be thinking, I need an ambulance for that. My ambulance needs a driver which has a GDL license. Most people don't have GDL license, right? You need to equip up an ambulance. It's very expensive. It will take you weeks, if not months, to set it up. We sat down and then we broke down to the basics. What do you need to do? What do we actually need to do? I need to send my neighbor to the nearest hospital. Do I need an ambulance for that? I just need my car, right? I need a driver. But to keep myself safe, I need to wear the PPE suit. Okay? So essentially, I needed a normal vehicle, a normal driver, and somebody who's trained to use the PPE suit, which is much simpler than having an entire ambulance crew. That's how we set it up within 3 days of the idea. We simplified the matters, and then of course we reverted to the professionals like the bomba or medical volunteers, learn how to do things, what are the ways that we can keep ourselves safe, how do we decontaminate the vehicles, so on and so forth. So these are the key things that we did. But we kept things very simple. When I want to move something to somewhere else, I want to give something to another NGO or people in need, one of the things that we insist on, the least formality. I do not need a photo of me on the packet of goods. I don't need a banner welcoming me or my team or whatever. I don't need a press conference or whatsoever. No, you need something, if I can give it to you, I give it to you. Whether it's government, whether it's public, whether it's individual, if I have it, you ask me and I'm willing to give it to you, I'll just send it to you. I do not need to waste time on all these other things, you know. So that is actually how we keep things, do things fast, make it very, very simplified.
Yeah, to the point of you said, you know, the government's even, you know, calling you to say, hey, let's get things done, right? So that's great. We have a question from our audience. Hans asks, are you working with St. John Ambulance Penang?
No, not at the moment. But I think St. John Ambulance is working with PUCC, which is the Penang COVID-19 Unified Command Center. So we are also working with PUCC. So what is that? All the organizations that are working to or wanting to help out in Penang, they go to the PUCC, and then the PUCC will allocate locations for us to work with. So we only take the instructions from PUCC, where to go, when to go, and who we are allowed to carry, and we follow the system. That makes it a little bit more organized.
Yeah, and St. John Ambulance, they will have the skills and knowledge to handle the more critical cases.
Yes.
On our side, our drivers are mostly Grab drivers, your everyday people. So we take up the non-critical cases, because if anything, if suddenly someone were to black out in front of them, our drivers wouldn't know what to do.
Okay, good. Thank you. So Yilin and William, why don't you share with us what has been the most difficult challenge or challenges that you've encountered so far in your work?
Having rest, having a life. You know, we are on call 24/7, 365 days a year. This has been happening for the last 5-6 years. Right. To be frank with you, we plan to have a family, to have our own kids, but since we got married, but no chance. You know, I mean, like,
right now, I just want a holiday where I can put my phone and my laptop away. That's it.
We can't even have kids. You know, even if we wanted to. It's like our commitment is, at the end of the day, when we say that if you give me a call now and ask me to send help to somewhere else in Kelantan, for example, I'll promise to be there within 24 hours. So if you have a kid around, you can't do that, right? If you have a baby, how are you going to do that? You just can't dump the child, and you can't dump the child with take the child along with you and things like that, you know. So it's a choice of either or. At this stage, we understand that. I think that may be the hardest aspect for us. Personally, you know. Operationally, I guess it's frustration in seeing how things can be done better, but it doesn't get done. But it's also a learning curve for everybody. We are being patient about that, and we are hoping that after all this is over, everybody will sit down and say, "Hey, look, we know this could have been done better. How do we prepare for the next phase?" If it should occur. And I keep telling, I've been trying to engage those who are in their 20s to get involved, whether as a paid worker or as a volunteer. The reasoning is very simple. I keep telling people, if something like this were to occur 20 years from now and it gets worse,
we won't be here anymore.
Yeah, I know. I'm about going to be, if I'm still here, I'm about 70 years old then. So 70 plus the time. Don't expect me to come out and then tell you all what to do or share with you all what, because by right that time you are in your 40s, you are in your prime, so you should be the ones leading. Now I find it a bit disappointing. I don't see as many youths involved as in the work. Like just taking my group as an example, I think more than 3/4 of them are age 40 and above, right? So the ones in the 20s I can count with my hands.
Two?
Two, no, I got more than that.
You mean it's not 20s, teenagers?
Yeah,
That one,
teenagers, yeah.
teenagers.
But you see, the thing is, that is a major concern for me, because moving forward, how do we improve and how do we prepare for that? If we do not take this opportunity, and as I was just speaking to Sham, one of my coordinators, I said, this is an opportunity of a lifetime to learn something and experience something which you cannot duplicate ever. Are we taking the opportunity to learn from this or not? Right? We have to look at it from that way, and we need to learn from this so that if something like this were to occur again, we are more or less better prepared.
Rosalyn, do you have any questions for Eileen and William?
Yes. Why do you think the younger generation are not very involved?
Well, I can't speak about the other places. When this one initially started, in Malaysia, for example, the inner 20s will be a lot to do with the university students, for example, right? So they were very highly protected because the universities actually did not allow them to go out or whatever. Yeah, they were put into the
They were stuck in
hostels,
their hostel rooms, basically.
and said that you're not supposed to come out and expose yourself. So they were protected in that sense. But I found it a bit ironic because at that time we were sending food to them.
Oh wow!
And they said, they were stuck and then they needed help, and then we were sending food to university students, and then we were like, I'm thinking, hey, my chef is 47 now. I got aunties and uncles cutting vegetable to serve you all everything. My team is like that. We are all in our 40s, and we are serving those in their early 20s in the hostel. And then when we were delivering, why I said they're being protected. One of the universities we're sending, we said that we will drop the food in the buffet trays. You get your students to come down one by one to take the food and take it up. They said, no, we needed to put everything pre-packed and send to each room because they do not want the students to come down. And then I said, that is the reason our administrative administrations is so protective over the students. They don't even want them to get out of the room, but those who are giving free food to them have got to do all that job, And then in the end, I just said, no, well, I'm going to leave the food there like that. You all can arrange. They say, oh, but we cannot communicate. I said, what do you form a group chat? And then room number 1 goes down, room number there, up, room number 2. You just take a little bit of trouble to get that done. And if you are not willing to think above and beyond the box on how to solve your own problem, how are you going to deal with this 20 years from now, 30 years from now? So and it's not the fault of the students, I'm thinking. And then, of course, there are always excuses. And initially, we do come across volunteers who would love to come, but their parents say, no, it's dangerous, so on and so forth, Yes and no lah. We have got to learn to live with it. If you think that you're going to hide inside all the time, you want to protect your children, what is going to happen is they're not going to get exposed to all the things that they could. I'm not saying all. There are students with great initiatives moving forward, so on and so forth. But I don't see them on the ground as much as regular volunteers. Maybe the older 20s and early 30s, they are. The ones who have gained a little bit more independence. They are on their own. They're not living with the parents. Asian issues here is you stay with your parents until quite late in your life. So as long as you stay under my roof, you better listen to what daddy says or mommy says. So it may be different in the Western countries. I don't know, but that is a situation which is quite quite obvious here, lah. Right? I do wish there would, and also things like our Ministry of Youth and Sports, for example. I think they could have played a better role in engaging this, and but because we are too political, we tend to we still haven't gone into actual volunteerism and community service in an effective manner. We are not engaged in that. Every end of the year, we have got courses which is compulsory for the uni students to take and pass. However, it's more of just on the surface level thing. I'm doing it just for the fun of it, or for the sake of getting the credit. Yeah. So they will say, okay, can you come and help us do this what MPU cost, and then it's feed the homeless every year. Is feed the homeless or go to the old folks home, and then it's like, isn't there a better way of to do something? Can't you think of something better? And I guess again, it's all depending on the lecture and the curriculum that's inside. That's also stagnant 20 years ago kind of thing, and everybody's just doing it. And then what Kembara? If you ask me why Kembara is relatively successful even though we are very small, it's because we continuously come up with something different. Even the hero meals that I'm talking about, we are the only one in this country who's doing this for disaster relief. We are planning ahead, and we've been giving this to Bomba, the soldiers, the police, and they love it. They say it's totally something different. The hospital frontliners are loving it, and to me, it's an old technology, but I repackage it in such a way that those people who need it benefit from it, and it's something different. It becomes different. Nafas. What is Nafas? Nafas is just actually people with e-hailing license using their own cars or rented cars to pick person A to point B. That's about it. But why is it like so, in a sense, wow, people are going gung-ho and wow about it? To me, it's very simple. Grab drivers or e-hailers in Klang Valley was doing this. They were doing this at the start, but they were charging 300 to 600 ringgit per ride. The only difference between them and me is, number one, my people are trained and they are provided PPE, and number two, is the service provided free. So it's not rocket science. It's not rocket science, but the way we did it, in a way, it helped a lot, right? So just organization skills and things like that, but it's nothing.
And your innovation, like you said, your motto is to simplify and continuously innovate and to respond to the needs of the people. And also you guys seem to have this ability to think for the future. So I think you guys are just a powerful duo.
You see, my new shirt says, when ordinary achieves extraordinary. That's our motto for Team Nafas. I believe that the ordinary people can actually achieve a lot if they just think about what is the actual need of the people and find a simple way to meet those needs. We do not need to make it complicated. Disasters are situations in which you need to dumb down rather than make things so complicated that you need to send helicopters when just walking will do or bicycle will do. Learn from the Japanese when they conquered Semenanjung, Malaysia. They just rode bicycle all the way from. We find something that's useful and effective. That's all we need to do actually.
Yeah, so related to that point, right? So, Rosalyn, you shared before that when you were going to the website where the white flags are, right? The Kita Jaga Kita, right? Yeah. So one of the problems that people have is the vetting process of how do we know that these people actually need help, or are they just making things up? So, Yilin and William, can you guys share how that works for Kembara?
Where's Sham to join this one? She's behind the scenes. They put her backstage.
I already came up.
You already. Hi, she'll be the best person to talk about this.
No, let Rosalyn answer.
No, Rosalyn had a question. Well, we both
she
have
was a question. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you guys do the vetting?
We asked a lot of questions.
We asked a lot of questions. Some of it are instinctive. Somehow or other, when they answer your questions, we just ask everything. What's your name? How many kids you have? Why do you need these things? So on and so forth. My first rule of thumb is, if suddenly I have got 20 requests all from the same block of residential apartment, I know this is a mass request by people that should be sharing out on the community. So that's first red flag, right? Second, those who come back to me with a lot of emoticons and all the crying, and you have to kesian me.
All the sad sob stories.
All the super sad stories. No. And then sometimes we are very, you can consider it rude, but we are actually more stern. I don't take nonsense. So kesian. No, I ask, why haven't you found a job? And then we will ask question, why do you actually need this so on so forth? You will meet a lot of recipients who will just come back and tell you, we just want, if you want to help, then you help. Don't need to ask so many questions. This kind of people, okay, thank you, then I don't want to help you. Then we won't
William,
give.
I have a question for you here because I've heard comments that your poor, your new poor, no longer looks poor, right? Like the middle class and even people that have been doing well became poor not overnight, but over a couple of months. And I know that if you lost your job for 1 or 2 months or third month, by third month, probably you'll be relying on family members. But if it goes on fourth, fifth, sixth month, of you not having a job, I think a lot of people are not able to understand that. So, um, my question really is if the same person keeps asking for help, but wouldn't it make sense? Because if that person has been out of job for 6 months and 7 months and unable to find a job due to this situation, is it normal then for them to keep asking for help for rice? Like not every week, but probably every 3 weeks. How do you differentiate that?
3 weeks to 4 weeks is quite common, right? Yes, they are new poor, but again, we always ask this question: what have you been doing? What have you tried to do? Now, for people to come back to me and say there has been no work for 7 to 8 months, I will sometimes tell them, I got this job. Do you want it?
Oh,
If
okay.
they, yeah, and there have been groups who have been offering work. Now, we have come across many who are not willing to change their lifestyle, who are not willing to get out of their comfort zone.
Or even
Of course.
not willing to take up jobs that are not within their work experience.
Yeah. We have a case in our group today only. A kindergarten teacher with two university students, to two college age student kids living with her, and she says that she needs help because she can't even buy petrol to buy medicine for her diabetes. Now, what is wrong with that? Number one, there are three adults, and you can't even get 50 ringgit to earn 50 ringgit. That's one. Number two, why do you need to buy diabetic medicine when you can get it nearly for free at the clinics?
Yeah, that's true.
In Malaysia, it's still given it's like 5 ringgit for 1 month's worth of supplies. So when people come back to me, that triggers our question, the question mark, right? We have been. I use this term, which was initially about 1 year plus ago. Uh,
Heartless.
I shared this in my social media pages, and there was quite a lot of people who are unhappy with the word I use. I call it heartless. I said, in order to do this job, you need to be heartless. And a lot of people keep telling me, no, it's the opposite. You have so on so forth. And I say, it all depends on how you want to look at it. When I say heartless, it means number one, when you come across situation, you got to take your heart out of it and not be emotionally affected. You
Be
cannot.
objective,
You
right?
need to be very objective. No, when you say objective, it's not even actually right, because here you need to have zero compassion to deal with someone. I'm not saying you don't have feelings, but when you deal with something, you cannot let that compassion judge help you make decisions. Because if you do that,
Everybody kesian lah. You kesian
everybody can you can't do it,
everybody.
and you will not and the scammers, as I call it, they are the ones who have been very good at tugging at your heartstrings. They were the ones who send you photographs of all their children. They're asking for rice, but they send pictures of all their kids like 10 times to you. I say kesian lah, kesian lah. I'm saying, okay, you want milk or you want rice? No, I want money.
Oh,
Then
Oh,
and then they will send you kids, and then we have got all this kind of thing. So I said, first thing, if they send you photograph, I don't even look at it. I'm not bothered, because anybody can get a photograph of any kid and just send it over there, and you think about it and say, look, it doesn't work on me. Now, if however you tell me I'm an amputee, I'm 60 years plus old, no way I can find a job right now, yes, I'm willing to support you. You let me know when you need help. Then we'll try to find an effective and efficient manner to help you. But of course, when you're talking about, we have delivered over the last, since March 2020, more than 700 tons of goods. So you can imagine how many people have actually received from us.
Yeah.
For us to keep track of it and follow up with those who need it constantly is nearly impossible. But we do have sectors. We try to make things easier for ourselves and more organized. We actually find low-cost flats. We work with the joint management body, and we ask them, do you have poor families whom you know for sure need? They will come back and give us, okay, I've got 30 families over at this apartment. Then we tell them, okay, I will send staff to you every 2 weeks. Then they will arrange with them. So in that sense, it's simpler. Everybody plays a part. I don't need to go and interview 30 families. I don't even need to know the 30 families. I trust the JMB to be able to find out for me who they are. And then every 2 weeks, I send for 30 families. So you just times 100 apartments from here. So we settle on that part, you know. And
That takes up a lot of your time actually, and the whole
yes,
it's very
being
easy.
efficient and being effective is very, very crucial, because if not, I will end up having to hire a lot of people just to manage this. And
Yeah.
we can't. We can't.
Yeah. So through the spirit of collaboration, you're getting things done in a simplified manner. So that's amazing. We have a comment from a viewer, Cheah. Cheah is actually one of one of the founding members of this fundraiser. So Cheah said, "Thanks for helping us understand more about the situation in Malaysia. Thank you so much, Yilin and William, for being here with us." So
No
guess
problem.
we're moving on to close to end this a great discussion. So, Yilin and William, what messages do you have for viewers and the general Malaysian public? I know you said a lot, but if you were to capture it in like less than 1 minute.
Message. Let's fight this together, lah. We can do it, lah. If you have nothing better to say, just keep quiet. If not, stay home. If you're not out to help,
Yeah.
come out.
We,
Seriously, don't come out. You don't need
yeah,
to come out.
I mean, but in the spirit of Merdeka, if I were to turn my camera around, which I'm going to do anyway,
Yeah.
I want to show
Some
you
of our
guys.
drivers have just arrived.
Oh yes, do show us your command center. I think we're curious to see how you guys work.
Well, the TV is not on.
Both laptops are on.
Hello, hi.
Hi. Thank you so much for all your hard work, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
You see, we are a mixed group of people.
Right.
You've got Malays, Indians, Chinese over here. In the spirit of Merdeka, you want to talk about what would make things work for us. This is what makes things work for us. When we sit down, we eat together. We don't count. But you know what? I appreciate all these guys, because while I'm here in the aircon room, they were busy running around, standing around, doing the pickups, whatever. My job is to try to raise funds and talk a lot, right? But they have a job that is much tougher than mine in my sense. But everybody can contribute in their own way, and we need everybody to pitch in and help. And those of you who cannot, who want to be difficult, who want to be fussy, who want to be emo and
Or
politics,
place the race card,
yeah,
drop
all that.
this.
I mean, especially those who are politically too strong about it, and they talk so much, and then everything must be like this or like that, or what, or it's so easy not being objective about things. All this, at the end of the day, no, we got to cut it off. What works? Who can it work?
There's so many ways to help.
There's so many ways to help.
You don't even need to leave your house
Yes,
to help.
and you can't. Well, I'm not a Buddhist, but this control room is partially paid for by a Buddhist foundation.
Buddhist
Association, and this morning, and we had to put their sticker on our cars. And I asked, especially my non-Buddhist colleagues, the Muslim, I said, do you mind if I put this on the car? I need to be considerate. I didn't think about it, but they said no issue. So if you have got people who want to find issues with this and all that kind of thing, then I say, okay, if I can't put this there and they don't want to give me the 6,000, who's going to give me the 6,000? For example, right? So when everybody doesn't make an issue out of small little things, That's great. We move forward from there. Then we get everybody to help out. Because I can tell you, every day, my teams, whether you're in JB, you're in KL, you're in Penang, nearly every day we come across cases which are very heart wrenching. Who, if we did not set in to help, at least once a day, one of us will have a case that is so sad. Today, as I said, even in Penang, within our KL, the guy is sitting down, leaning against a chair on the ground beside the pavement. His head is down like that, and people are calling up and ask, "Can you pick us up? Can you pick him up? We need to go hospital." We have got people who are.
We just picked up a 28-day-old baby the other
A
day.
28-year-old baby the other day, yeah. So all these things at the end of the day, I think you look at that and you ask yourself, are we going to quarrel about small little things? Are we going to jeopardize the whole situation because of small little things? If that is what we're going to do, then this is not under Kombara. This is not what Kombara does. Yes, everybody's going to get pissed off with someone somewhere along the line, but always think about the bigger picture. If you're going to get affected by external forces coming in who want to kacau like that, no, we are Malaysians. We fly the flag with pride. Whatever people say, I think at the end of the day, it's humanity that is our main concern. Let's look at that. Don't look at the color of the skin. Look at the people that we are helping. Who are we? And understand that no one can actually do this alone. No one.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? Okay. Rosalyn, what message do you have for our viewers?
For Malaysians in Canada, you obviously cannot be there to help out in person. So if you would like to help out, please go to the GoFundMe link that we set up. All you need is just a credit card. Decide on the amount that you want to contribute. Know that a contribution may be small to you, but it will be very, very effective. It's not going to be small for the families that we're helping and the organizations that we're helping. And I'm not just talking about the Canadian dollar.
Yeah, I mean, we already have a advantage that our currency is larger than the RM. So like if you could give a little bit, it will definitely help our efforts tremendously in Malaysia. So Winchi, maybe you can put up the name of our GoFundMe, and then we can follow up also after this with the link for everyone. Yeah,
just reach out to Christine or myself or MAC in general if you wanna get the link to donate, and please feel free to share the link with anyone outside of Canada as well. Anyone, your colleagues, your friends, anyone who has worked in Malaysia, enjoyed Malaysia, please share it.
Or that they love Malaysian food, so we also consider you okay lah. You love our food, we also love you back, right? So yeah.
Yeah, and we accept all kinds of currencies, British pounds.
So that's why we set up this portal, this GoFundMe portal. Like Rosalyn's like, if you got a credit card, you can help us. So
simplify things.
That's right. Yeah. So like William said, like keep it simple. Keep the effort going. We still need a lot of help. Malaysia is still going through the thick of this. It is Merdeka. While some people might say there's nothing to celebrate, during this pandemic, but I look at it as this is even a better reason for Malaysians to come together to help each other, even though we're not celebrating. If you're Malaysians in Malaysia, if you're Malaysians in Canada, if you're Malaysians in the States or anywhere in the world, we can come together. We can help each other out. I don't care what color you are, if you're purple or magenta, we bleed red. You cut yourself open, we all bleed red, right? So we've got this. We definitely need to lean on each other. So with that said, so thank you so much, William and Yillian and Rosalyn. It's been a very, very informational session. So on behalf of Jom Jaga Malaysia and Malaysian Association of Canada, terima kasih. Thank you so much, for spending time with us. So our viewers, thank you so much for joining us today. We would really appreciate it. Like I said, if you could make a contribution to a fundraiser, and have a wonderful day for those of you who are in Canada, and have a great evening, Elin and William, and Selamat Hari Merdeka. We can do this. Malaysia boleh.
Yeah, sure, we'll do it.
Merdeka.
Thank you, Lola. Merdeka.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Sunday. Oh, Saturday.
Sunday.
Saturday.
Okay. Take care. Take care. Keep safe, guys.
Bye.
Stay in one.